the 10s and Mbeumo and Cunha, then maybe worrying about your goalie every game. Okay, here we go for the Fulham match preview. Um, I was sitting here like talking my head off. I was sitting here thinking that we were live, and we in fact we're not live. So here we are now, take two. You guys missed it, man. I was flowing. I was going. I was going. You guys missed it all. I was talking to the wall in front of me. I might just have to like clip that up and just I don't know, put that on like some put that behind a paywall, right? Because I was boom, 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 boom. I had all these facts. I had this like whiteboard. No, I'm kidding. I didn't have all that. But anyway, here we go. Let's get into it. I am live now, and we are getting ready for tomorrow's match preview or match against Fulham. So this is your match preview. We go to Craven Cottage tomorrow. The game is at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for those on the East Coast United States and 8:30 a.m. Pacific time for those on the West Coast. For those of you around the world, if you're watching, you do the math because I'm not exactly sure what time that will be in your time zone, but just use those as your reference to know when the game will be because we will need your support through the screen because we need to get to winning ways. So without further ado, Fulham news. Fulham coming to the game. They drew 1-1 last weekend at Brighton. They got on the board, so that's pretty good for them. We didn't get on the board, so, they come into it probably a little hotter than us, if I'm being honest. I mean, a 1-1 draw at Brighton is not bad, right? We were unfortunate to lose, I say anyway, 1-0 to Arsenal. But again, I won't harp on that too much now because it's time to move on, right? It's time to move on to the next match, time to go on to the next game. Because we gotta focus when we gotta get in here and win this one. So for Fulham, they are missing their high flying left back and fellow American Anthony Robinson. They are also missing Ryan Sessegnon. And by the way, like Ryan Sessegnon, I feel like I've been saying that name for the past like 15, 20 years. I know I haven't, but it just seems like this guy has just been around for a long time. Like, didn't he start at Fulham and then he went to Spurs, didn't quite work out and came back? I mean, the guy's only 25, but I feel like he's been a professional since he was been like 12 years old. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe he burst into the scene young. I guess he did. I'll look it up later. But yeah, guy's only 25. I feel like he should be like 34 by now. Anyway, I digress. Marco Silva in his presser for Fulham, he said he expects a tough match, but they'll be playing to win. I mean, yeah, you probably should be, right? Otherwise, your job's on the line. So didn't really give away a whole lot in his presser other than that they expect a tough match. He thinks that, you know, Brighton played, or not Brighton, Fulham played well last weekend. He thinks that we played well last weekend, but they're coming to win. They're playing at home, so obviously I don't expect them to sit back. I mean, teams usually will, unless you were just way better than them, they'll usually try and attack you in their own home, right? So, I mean, he did call on the fans, obviously, to make it a tough environment for United. But I mean, we got a professional squad. We expect that. Not a whole lot there. Interesting tidbit for those who like to plan ahead, maybe who like to match the team. Fulham will be wearing all white, which means United will be wearing red shirts, black shorts, and black socks, which I just got to say, that's my favorite combination, right? Like, I dig the red shirt, the black shorts, and the black socks. I don't like the red shirt with the white shorts and the white socks. I think it looks a little soft. I don't like the red shirts with the black shorts and white socks. I think that just looks weird. But like, I will be okay. I'm okay with the red shirt, the white shorts, and the black socks. I think that's kind of has a classic look to it. But like when you go with that red, black, and black, man, that's just like that's tough to me. That looks like I don't know, like a Black Widow spider or something where it's like don't mess with me, right? It looks dangerous. It looks dangerous. Looks tough. Looks intimidating. I like that. I like that combination. Maybe I'm biased to it because when I was a kid, we had red jerseys and black shorts and black socks, and that was one of my best seasons ever. I was probably 12 years old, but man, I was I was on fire that season. I was leading goal scorer in the league. So yeah, maybe that's where that comes from. Anyway, United news. So, as you know, we lost last weekend to Arsenal, 1-0. I think we're unlucky again. I think Bayender got fouled, but whatever, right? We move, right? We move on. In terms of personnel, we got a pretty much a full squad. The only two that we're missing are Lissandro Martinez and Mazraoui. But other than that, we got a full squad, which means all keepers are fit. That means Heaton, Bayender, Onana. I feel like we need to come up with a name for that trio. See, Heaton, Bayender, Onana, HBO. HBO. HBO is live. Yeah, HBO is live. You heard that here first. HBO is live. It's live for this weekend. All right. So HBO is live. Heaton, Bayender, Onana. But who's going to be the main character for HBO? We will see. Ruben was asked about it, and he was kind of coy about it, and he didn't really give away who was going to start. So anyone's guess. I'll tell you who I think will start when I get to my predicted lineup and score. But Ruben didn't give anything away. But again, HBO. Remember that. I like that. I'm on it. I'm on it. Um, so Ruben said that he does not know what's going to happen in the transfer window, right? So now I'm paraphrasing a few things that he said from the presser. He does not know what's going to happen in the transfer window. He did say that the incomings, I repeat, the incomings are not dependent on the outgoings. I thought that was interesting that he said that. Usually you would think, okay, we got to sell to buy, but Ruben's saying that's not the case. Maybe something's getting lost in translation. He said he does speak with Jason every day on this, Jason Wilcox. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Um, but he's saying incomings are not based on outgoings. So either there's money somewhere that we've got that we don't know about, um, when I say we, I mean us, the fans don't know about, that the hierarchy is setting aside to maybe pull some more triggers and bring in some more players, or he's bluffing. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, common sense would have you think, okay, you need to sell people to buy people, right? But maybe that's not the case. We'll see. Um, Ruben was asked about Rasmus Hoyland. He said Hoyland is being very professional in terms of his inclusion and exclusion from the squad. I think we've seen that. That's not any groundbreaking statement. I think that's true for Rasmus. Yes, he did get a bit mouthy online a couple times on social media, but I mean, obviously he quieted that down. He's putting his head down. He's trying to work. Like I said a few shows ago, I feel sorry for the guy, but I mean, if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. We can't give him an honorary spot on the bench just because he wants to be here. All right, we can't do that. So, but that's a feather in his cap. That's a testament to his character that Ruben has said that he's being professional. Hopefully, other clubs hear that and they can kind of rely on that and understand and hear. Yes, Rasmus is a professional guy. You're getting a professional player. You're getting a passionate player, whomever he goes to. So that's what he said on Rasmus. Ruben was asked about Mount and Shaw. Ruben said that when fit, Luke Shaw is a special player. Hint, 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 right? Wink, wink, wink. So probably will start at the weekend. About Mount, Amram said that he is an experienced player. He's a Champions League winner. Um, and da 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 da. Didn't really say as much about him starting. Or I should say, didn't give a big hint about him starting. Obviously, he started against Arsenal. Um, he might start again this weekend. But again, I have different thoughts. I'll share that a little later in this show. But yeah, so I think Luke Shaw is probably the biggest hint that we got in terms of him starting. But I feel like that's pretty much a given. Amram did say that Fulham is always tough. They have a real identity. He complimented Marco Silva. He said that Silva, has the ability to change things when he needs to, and that he will, he can make things tough for United. So obviously he complimented Silva. But obviously he said that, we're going in it to win. Ruben was asked about his thoughts on last week. Ruben said we played well last week, but we also need to improve. right? Not a whole lot there, not a whole lot given away there. I mean, I think that was there for everyone to see. We weren't terrible by any means, but we need to improve. What I think we can improve on, again, another teaser, I will share that a little later in this video, so please keep watching. And by the way, taking a quick aside, please be sure to hit that like button if you are watching. Please, please, please hit the like button and please subscribe and please engage in the chat, right? The chat's empty right now, so please have your say what you think. I will read it out. We'll engage. We'll have a conversation. That's why I'm live. I'm not a big channel, so you will not get lost in the sauce here. So let me know what you think. Send in a chat, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. So when I do decide, to show up, that sounded awful when I decide to show up. When I go live or when I post something, you'll be notified. And also a reminder, I will be doing a live stream for the match. I'll be doing a watch along, as is coined nowadays. So I will be live, ready to go, have my drinks and snacks ready, and hopefully we'll be watching a United win together. So anyway, with that said, moving on to Manu over here. So I've got a question mark by Manu's name. The reason why I have that question mark is because Ruben was asked about Kobe Manu, and if I'm being honest, Ruben didn't sound too hot on Manu. And I know that that has been a lot of the buzz on social media lately. I know that, you guys have been talking about it on Twitter and other platforms and what have you. Some have said that Manu should be partnering Bruno in the midfield. Others, who I agree with, said that Manu and Bruno cannot work together in the midfield, not enough legs. I agree with that. I think Manu doesn't have enough legs in the midfield. Ruben Amorim, again, I don't know. I can't read the guy's mind, but he seemed to not, he didn't put Manu on the pedestal that maybe some fans have and some previous managers have. He wasn't like, yeah, he's our future, he's our star guy. He just said, again, paraphrasing, yeah, Manu's in the mix. He's competing, you know, whatever, right? So, question mark over his future. I think Manu's negotiating a contract right now. We'll see. You know, I mean, I'd hate to lose him. I think that Manu is a player that needs to be in the attacking third. I think he needs to be a 10 or maybe even a false nine kind of thing. I don't know if has he played false nine for us? Has he played that striker role for us? Um, I don't know that he has. Someone in the chat, maybe, or if you watch this video later, leave a comment or whatever, let me know if he has or hasn't played that role. Um, but I feel like he could do that maybe. Or like I said, one of the 10 positions, but I just don't see him in midfield. I can't see it. I don't think he has the legs for it, but he's not someone that we should ship out or whatever, right? Definitely not that. So I would say watch this space on Manu. Now, let me jump into my predicted lineup. And it is, drumroll please, this. This is my predicted lineup. I think Bayander starts, the one third of HBO, as I've now coined him, Heaton, Bayander, Onana. So I think Bayander is going to be the main guy out of the HBO trio. I think Euro's at right center back, Delit's at center back. Shaw's at left center back. I think Ahmad is at right wing back. I think Dorgu's at left wing back. I think Casemiro and Bruno play in the middle. Got a little Portuguese speaking connection there. And then you've got Mbeumo and Cunha. Cunha, another Portuguese speaker. And then Šeško is to start up front. I think this is a good game for Šeško to start. It's against Fulham, who we should beat. I think it's a good chance for him to kind of get his feet under him. And so when we go back to Old Trafford, he's flying, he's fit, and when he has this bow at Old Trafford, he's raring to go and hopefully banging in some goals. This is what I think. This is what I think. So I think this is your starting lineup right here. This is my predicted starting lineup. And my predicted score is a 3-1 to United. I think 3-1. The reason why I say 3 is because I feel like, we've got a strong attack. I think, between Bruno, Dorgu, Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha, and Šeško, we'll bang in some goals. Again, Fulham, they're without one of their key defenders and Anthony Robinson. So I think we need to exploit that left side, which I got written up here, one of my keys to winning, keys to victory. I think we need to exploit their left side. Um, and I think we need to get more players into the attack and in the box on crosses. I know it sounds pretty generic, but if you remember back to last weekend against Arsenal, right, you saw that there were a lot of times where Dorgu or someone or Dalla was playing on the right wing back side, right wing back role, and they would go to cross it, and like Mbumo and Cunha weren't quite there, or maybe it was just like Mount or somebody in there in the box, and there was like 4 or 5 Arsenal players there plus the keeper. So we definitely need to get more bodies in the box. I know Sheshko's a big guy, but he can't do it on his own. We still need people to kind of run off of him and run around him and create some confusion and and some chaos in there, so that way we can get him on the end of the crosses and whatnot. So we definitely need to get more people in the box on these crosses and more people in the attack in general. Like I know that sometimes when Ahmad gets it on his side, the play can slow down a little bit. Not saying that he's slow, but I don't think he prefers to play on the break as much as like a Dorgu does. Sometimes Ahmad will cut it back a bit more and kind of play it around, which is fine. That's totally fine. That changes our style and attack tempo, which is obviously is good to do to throw the other team off, keep them off balance. But you know, it's not quite as direct at times as maybe more of a Dorgu. Um, and so where I was going with that, almost lost my train of thought. So where I was going with that is, you know, I want to see us getting more players into the attack, but not necessarily getting down there and like stopping, right? Like rather than okay, we get a counter and it's like Dorgu running down there with Mbumo, maybe Sheshko. I want to see Ahmad, Mbumo, Cunha, Sheshko, and Dorgu like all like streaking down the field. At least get like those 5 guys in there attacking, right? I mean, Casemiro will hold it down in midfield. Bruno might sit back a little bit to try and catch any balls that leak out, right, or make that late run into the box to add, a sixth person or whatever. But like, we just need to get more bodies forward. That means we need to get players up and down the pitch more, right? I think they've got the legs for it in terms of Ahmad, Dorgu, and Bumo and Cunha. So I just want to see that happen. I think those are our keys to success. So with that said, I mean, that's really what I got for you guys for the match preview. Like I said, I will be live for the game tomorrow, probably about 10-15 minutes before the kickoff. I'll post it on Twitter. And by the way, follow me on Twitter right here, Brymart United, BRYMARTUTD, Brymart United or Brymart UTD on Twitter. Yeah, please follow me there. I post a lot of stuff, comment on other pages, have some fun with it. Um, please tweet me, please at me. Same thing here. Please follow me. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share if you like the vibe here. Again, I'm pretty low key. I'm not a big production. You see, I do this in my home office, right? So you know, low key, chill production here. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. So let's see. Unless there's anything in the chat. Nope, nothing in the chat. Next time there will be stuff in the chat. I'm sure you guys will be on it next time. It's a little late today, I know, but tomorrow during the game, I know that chat's gonna be active, so I'll see you guys in that chat. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for you. So I will see you guys tomorrow for a United victory. Peace.